You're the reason we don't have caddies anymore. You, me, and everyone else who takes a power cart for reasons other than medical issues are to blame for putting thousands of experienced caddies out of work. How did we let this happen? It's a question that stumps a lot of golfers. Why have power carts replaced caddies at 99% of the courses in the world? Caddies date back to Scotland in the late 1600s. Early golf was played over rough, expansive landscapes, and carrying a heavy set of clubs was both arduous and impractical. Caddies, often kids or people from modest backgrounds, were not just simple laborers, but keen observers and strategists. They carry bags, supply clubs, clean balls, advise on yardage, read greens, and often have intimate knowledge of the unique quirks and challenges of their home courses. Over time, the caddy-patron relationship evolved into one of mutual respect, with many professional golfers crediting caddies as a huge part of their success. Basically, they were part golf coach, part navigator, and part cheerleader. Caddying also served as a rite of passage and a bridge for young people, especially those from less privileged backgrounds, into broader opportunities within and beyond golf. Some of the greatest golf professionals, including legends like Tom Watson, Ben Hogan, and Lee Trevino, started as caddies. For decades, the caddy was an indispensable part of the sport. Golf clubs in America and the British Isles would maintain caddy shacks, organize caddy programs, and even host competitions and training for their caddies. Economically, caddying represented a reliable source of employment, especially for youth seeking summer jobs or those wishing to break into club work. Tips and caddy fees could supplement incomes or help pay for education. Thus, caddy culture was not just about golf, it was embedded within the community. But in the last several decades, most everyday golfers ride power carts instead. So why the change? Power carts started to appear on courses in the 1950s and 60s at first. At first, they were mostly for older or disabled golfers, but by the 1980s, carts were everywhere. The seeds of change were sown in the post-World War II era. The world saw major technological advancements and a boom in American consumer affluence. The first true electric golf cart was invented by Merle Williams in 1951 and was marketed to help disabled golfers traverse the course more easily. By the late 1950s, innovations in lightweight, electric, and gasoline vehicles had made carts more practical. Companies like Club Car, founded in 1958, and Easy Go in 1954, soon emerged as major manufacturers. These early carts offered ease of use and an attractive novelty that promised speed, convenience, and a modern gimmick perfectly aligned with the consumer habits of the era. As golf's popularity grew among older and less physically able participants, power carts offered a way to continue enjoying the game with less physical strain. Carts reduced fatigue and discomfort and extended the playing lives of many golfers, which is good. The pace of life was accelerating in post-war America with growing pressure to pack recreation into busy schedules. Power carts allowed for faster rounds. Players no longer had to wait for a caddy or physically walk the course. Golf courts soon became a profitable amenity for clubs. Renting out carts provided a steady stream of revenue, sometimes surpassing caddy program costs and green fees. Caddies, despite their value, represented a variable cost and required management, insurance, and logistical support. Once a cart is purchased, it can be maintained systematically, carrying fewer interpersonal liabilities or employment hurdles. The mid-20th century lit up with automotive enthusiasm. Power carts fit this narrative, symbolizing progress and innovation. For many, driving a cart became part of the fun of golf, even those who previously saw walking and caddying as an essential part of the sport. Now, renting a cart is cheaper than tipping a caddy for a full round, especially if they're just out for a casual game. By the 60s and 70s, power carts had penetrated deeply into American golf. Resorts and public courses adopted carts enthusiastically. At private clubs where tradition was strongest, change came more slowly, but still steadily. By the late 1980s, stories of large-scale caddy shacks and bustling caddy yards became increasingly rare. Outside of wealthy clubs like Augusta and Pinehurst, of course, the change was deeper than simply swapping services. Clubs changed the layout of holes, cart paths were constructed, and course designs began to accommodate driving access. The social role of the caddy as intermediary, confident, and informal mentor faded into the background. But at what cost? There are aspects of the game we have lost, and new golfers will never know what they're missing out on. Without caddies, newer players lost access to the on-course instruction, gentle humor, and sage advice that caddies had long provided. Interaction with peers become more insular and restricted to just your cart partner. Secondly, walking is inherently healthier, and removing this element contributed to the stereotype of golf as a sedate, sedentary leisure activity. In a full circle moment, public health advocates that recently calling for a renewed emphasis on walking for both enjoyment and cardiovascular benefit. Thirdly, for those those once reliant on caddy work, especially youth and seasonal laborers, opportunities shrank. For clubs, the shift in revenue streams from caddy fees to cart rental also changed the orientation of their service models. Lastly, cart paths led to different patterns of turf wear, chemical runoff, and maintenance. The noise and emissions of older gas carts was a concern, though modern electric models and better design have alleviated some of those impacts. Still, caddies haven't disappeared. At high-end courses, tournaments, and places with steep traditions, caddies are a huge part of the experience. The personal touch and local knowledge they bring just can't be replaced by a GPS screen. Today, the golf world is engaged in a lively conversation about the best way forward. Some argue that power carts make the game more inclusive and enjoyable, while others assert that walking and caddying are essential to the soul of golf. What do you think? Thanks for watching. I'm Clint McCormick, resident golf professional here at golfspan.com.